What's good, everybody? BBK Dragoon here, coming at you today with a replay review. Halo 4 continuing. We are on board with Fenrir OP. This is Regicide. That's the free-for-all game type where there's a king. King kills grant bonus points. If the king stays the king long enough, he ends up getting an overshield and eventually a power boost, or a damage boost, excuse me. Fenrir, by the way, the name itself is pretty cool. It comes from Norse mythology, which I knew nothing about until my last semester of college, and I took a Norse mythology class, man, at the very end, and it was one of the coolest but hardest classes I've ever taken. Senior level literature course, and man, Norse mythology it's so cool, man, but it was a hard class. Anyway, I digress. Fenrir in Norse mythology, just so you know, is this giant wolf. He's the son of Loki. If you guys know Marvel's Thor, it's not very accurate. But Loki had a bunch of sons. Fenrir is a giant wolf. And Fenrir, at the very end of, like, Norse mythology, in the Battle of Ragnarok, which is, like, basically, think of storming the Death Star kind of thing, the final battle, he ends up killing Odin. He eats him. So Fenrir is a pretty awesome name to start things off with. Now let's dig into this replay. It's upper, mid-upper CSR. That's what I would call it. It's entertaining to watch. It comes down right to the wire, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. Things I want you to pay attention to from the very beginning. Engagements between the close and medium range, how many shots you're dropping. Now, that concussion rifle, definitely need to pick that up. I know I called it concussive rifle like 1,000 times in the previous replay reviews. It's because there's an upgrade in StarCraft 2 called concussive shells. By the way, let's look at this, like, thrust melee again. He comes in, boom, it's out of the park. If I sound a little off tonight, too, I'm a little bit under the weather, I'm afraid. So, the swappy, how do you want to call it? Flicky? You're not really flicky, but you're usually over-aiming. When you are trying to aim right, you either go too little or too far, rather than land right on the money. That's why aiming is a real synergy in the whiffed melees, too. Keep an eye on that, because it's going to be a reoccurring theme. You over-aiming past somebody is negative, and it detracts from your strength in the mid to close range fights. When I really want to see more volleys being thrown into the enemy instead of whiffing the melee and then trying to make up for it with a lot of fast trigger pulls. A drop shot is a drop shot, and I'm really going to point out the small things. There's not a huge glaring overarching theme here of like, oh, well, he keeps going to the same spot on the map. No, it's an overall pretty good game, but there are small things that you can do to improve the power of yourself as a player in the small, short-range combat kind of situations is what I'm seeing. Good pull on the sniper rifle. Take a look at the radar. See where the king is. See where that activity is. One nade down, which is great. Yet you drop right in front of a player. You got to be very careful here. In for the trip. Can he get it? Yes, he does. Not sure why you did the thrust there. And then, oh my gosh, throwing the nade right as the reload. No. Let's look at it again. Now, obviously, this all occurred very quickly. So 2 shots dropped. Starts the reload. Okay, and then you melee and thrust. Don't deplete that ability right there. There was no need to. And as soon as you finish the clip, you need to put, like, shots into that guy. So, like, he dropped shield right there. If you would have jumped, put shots into him with the Magnum, I dare say that you would have stayed alive and killed him. Now, granted, I'm playing the what-if game, but I'm just saying, hold on to that ability. You meleeed and then thrust it into the wall. No reason to do so. Again, opting for the melee on the one-shot guy instead of just keeping that gun up, shooting him once more. So let's take a look again. Sprinting into the fight. I want you to just pay attention. You see him on the radar. How long that your Spartan is unable to shoot. It is not until this point right here that you can put shots into the enemy player. Now, if he was paying attention, had gun up, you would have been fried, dude. By the time you got your gun out, you were 2 to 3 shots in already. Nice mop up here. Oh, but get in the melee right away. Nice points given to yourself. Everything matters when it comes down to those situations between getting the over or the kill tack or whatever it is. No, don't throw the nade. Keep that gun out. Save your time, and you would have not died to Swordman right there. Guarantee it. I've seen Unishek. Oh, hold on here. We're going to get a whiffed melee in 3-2. Yes, I remember that. Too much. More shots into the body first before you can go for the melee. If you can't confirm it, don't go for it. The melee animation takes a lifetime against good players who have their gun up. It's enough to make things, oh no, I know, I'm sorry. I cry for you, baby. I've seen Unishek 1,000 times on his stream where I'm watching, and it's like, he stays alive way longer than what I think is possible, okay? Way longer. And it's because he makes use of every single resource that he has. He doesn't waste time with nade throws. Let's pay attention to where the king is, too. Look at the score, and as we get closer to the end of the game, you need to start contesting the king. you are in second place. Don't pass up, you know, a bunch of easy free kills, which is fine, but don't animate in one of the highest traffic areas on the map when the king is right behind you undefended. When it comes down to it at the end, at this wire, getting kills on the king and getting that extra points, or at least being near the king where you're going to find more players and more traffic, is going to help you steal the lead from the king. The longer that dude stays king right now, the higher likelihood he wins. If he gets the OS, he's probably going to win. And this is where it comes down to you to make that split-second choice of who do I focus, king or not. Wouldn't have gone for the melee. You get really lucky here. The fact that you get that Regicide and none of the other players do is a big deal. And the fact that he doesn't get 1 or 2 more kills that he needs to finish up the game. I'm glad you won. It's great, but there's a lot that can be improved upon. By not focusing on the king in that last minute of the game, or really not even tracking his movement, you are, in essence, removing something that you can do from your playbook. A mechanic, you can call it, that will help you win more Regicides. Now, Regicide is this special blend of FFA that I've never been a big fan of, but I have to bring it up in this replay review because, honestly, that win could have been taken away from you like that. So the things I noticed were the under-aiming and the over-aiming. A lot of right stick movements, especially when it gets in close range. You're going to have to rely on that left stick unless you want to really overhaul the way you aim. Really use that left stick to zero in on the opponent, and don't drop shots in the string. When you're dropping 2-3 shots in the string because you're just mashing the right finger, it brings you closer to the reload animation. We don't want to be reloading. We want to have the gun down range ready to fire as soon as we can do it. Beyond that, in that last minute of the game, when you're sitting in second place, pay very close attention to where the king is and contest if you need to contest. Overall, I really enjoyed the replay. Thank you for submitting, man. It was fun to watch a good FFA, tight to the end. I will see you all next week in another replay review. I'd love some feedback. Be nice, otherwise nope, and have a good day.